You're listening to an AppleVis podcast. Hello and welcome. My name is Thomas Domville, also known as Anonymous. I'm going to be showing you some of the new accessibility features that you can find in iOS 16. With every major update that Apple puts out every year, we can tend to find new accessibility features for those that are visually impaired, low vision, hearing impaired, and alike. In this cast, I'm just going to be simply showing you some of the new features. So I am just going to glance over for those that just like to have a short summary of what's new in iOS 16 for accessibility features. So without further ado, let's get rolling. So let's begin with the first feature you will find in iOS 16. Now this feature Apple really pushed really hard early on before WWDC, and that is door detection. Yes, you'll be able to use your Magnifier app. Just open it up, point towards the door.
A white door with a silver lock.
And you'll get results like that. So it will have different attributes for different doors. Sometimes it will tell you if the door is open, doors closed, if the door can be opened by pushing, pulling, and even do more attributes. If it detects store hours, it will tell you the store hours if it detects that sign, and other things like the fire hazard sign, and etc. I have mixed results with this. It will definitely vary per mileage on this, especially when there's lots of people involved and then it gets in front of you, you can't really find the door. That will be an issue. And sometimes, like my bedroom door has coats on the back of the door. It did not detect the door because it had items in front of the door. So there's things like that to think about. And then lastly, to remember is that this requires LiDAR. So you'll have to have LiDAR equipped devices to use this feature. One of the new features, which became a pretty big surprise for a lot of the community for the blind and low vision folks out there, is that we received some new VoiceOver voices and spoken content. So we are talking dozens and dozens of new voices and new voices for countries that have never had their own exclusive VoiceOver voice. So here's a little snippet of some of the new voices you can expect. Here's one for English US. Here's Reed for Eloquence.
Hello, my name is Reed.
Evan.
Hello, my name is Evan. I am an American English voice.
Nathan.
Hello, my name is Nathan. I am an American English voice.
Zoe.
Hello, my name is Zoe. I am an American English voice.
English for Australia, Matilda.
Hello, my name is Matilda. I am an Australian English voice.
English India, Veena.
Hello, my name is Veena. I am an Indian English voice.
English Scotland, Fiona.
Hello, my name is Fiona. I am a Scottish English voice.
English UK, Stephanie.
Hello, my name is Stephanie. I am a British English voice.
And then we have some really strange one, which is a novelty section, Trinoid.
We cannot communicate with these carbon units.
Zarbox.
That looks like a peaceful planet.
And then we have new VoiceOver voices for some of those countries that had never had their own VoiceOver voices for the first time, such as Bulgaria.
Здравей, казвам се Дария и съм български глас.
Catalan.
Hola, em dic Jordi i sóc una veu catalana.
Ukrainian.
Привіт, мене звуть Леся. Я український голос.
Vietnamese.
Xin chào, tên tôi là Linh. Tôi là giọng nói tiếng Việt.
And there's so much more. And so much more for you at your fingertips. So enjoy diving into all the new VoiceOver voices. Now, this is a fantastic feature for my deaf listeners out there and hard of hearing. This is a wonderful feature called Live Caption. This feature will allow you to have a real live caption while you're across the system-wide device and per apps. For example, if you want FaceTime, you can FaceTime someone and caption will be displayed at the bottom of the screen as they speak. So this is found under this settings accessibility live caption.
Live captions, beta, heading.
And it's in beta and it's only in certain part of the countries. Right now it's in the US and only a handful of countries can take advantage of this at this time. And here's Apple's summary of live caption.
Your iPhone will use on-device intelligence to automatically display captions across all apps. Accuracy of live captions may vary and should not be relied upon in high-risk or emergency situations.
You have different things like
Appearance. Button.
Appearance. You can modify how it looks to you. So if you want larger fonts and etc. And then it also has a per app basis.
If you prefer live captions be displayed only in specific apps, turn on an app live captions.
And with this, it will give you a few options like
live captions in RTT, on. Live captions in FaceTime, off.
Which you can turn on and off as you like it. Our Mac users have been able to use this feature for a number of years now, and now it can be found in iPad OS. This is definitely for our low vision listeners out there. It is called hover text, which allowed a Mac user to take their pointer and point in the direction of a text, an input field, part of the menu content, or even simply a button, and then it just highlights as it tapped on the command key, which pops up a hover text, a magnification area of what's below the pointer that you're pointing at. This is now available for the iPad OS, a very welcome feature for the low vision users. Now here's a feature that's going to go towards for those that are unable to use the Apple Watch in a meaningful or efficient way. So if you're having trouble tapping or swiping on your Apple Watch, now brings a wonderful new feature called Mirrored Apple Watch. This can be found under Settings, Accessibility, Mirrored Apple Watch. Double tap, turn that on, and that allows you to bring up a display that allows you to swipe, tap, and things that you would typically do on an Apple Watch, but on your iPhone. There's even an area where you can tap on the crown, the side button, and everything that you could do with the Apple Watch now available to you and accessible through the iPhone Mirrored Apple Watch. Those that rely on sound recognition, well, it gets an improved update that you definitely want to take advantage of. Now you'll find under alarms is the option to customize alarm.
Custom alarm button.
Which means you can take an alarm sound that isn't recognized before and customize it to that it will recognize that alarm and alert you when it hears that device. And this also applies for the household section, which also allows you to customize what you want it to detect.
Custom appliance or doorbell button.
Which is going to be great if you have appliances that have a different tone or doorbell that's a little different and that isn't recognized in the previous version. So this is a big boost for those that takes advantage of the sound recognition. Now this one came of a surprise to me as well, but a very welcome feature that I sorely miss myself is the being able to end the call with your side button or your lock button. It mysteriously disappeared, but it's back in iOS 16. So you can find this under Settings, under Accessibility, under Touch, and then you just work your way down.
Prevent lock to end call, off. Double tap to toggle setting.
Make sure that's turned to off, and voila, you now have that option to be able to end a call with your lock button or side button now. Apple Map user, such as myself, when you go and walking, now includes the sound and haptic to point out where the starting route for walking direction.
Getting directions to Walgreens.
Maps, my location, map, home.
Starting walking directions to Walgreens.
Map, Miller J, Fields Park. Use
Proceed to
to
Southeast 3rd
Terrace,
Street.
East-West.
Then in 400 feet, take a left on Southeast Claremont Street.
And now you hear this little sound that would tell you that you're on the right path and the right direction starting. Nice feature. Apple Books gets a new feature for our low vision users, now providing you the book themes and customization options, which gives you the ability to bold text and adjust in lines and characters and word spacing for a more accessible reading.
Themes and settings button.
If we go into this area, you'll get many different options to increase text, decrease text, all those options.
Theme preview. Text. Heading.
Gets the option to change the text.
Font. Original collapsed. Button.
This is where you can change the fonts.
Bold text. Bold text. Switch button. Off. Double tap to toggle settings. Accessibility and layout options. Heading. Customize. Switch button. Off. Double tap to toggle setting.
Be able to customize per book and etc. And we have another feature for our low vision listeners out there. It's called the Magnifier Activities. Yes, this is going to be beneficial to you. So if you're a magnifier user and you find yourself, well, I change my magnifier attributes quite often, going back and forth, wouldn't it be great to be able to have presets? So presets for things like
zoom, 0%, adjustable.
Say you have different zoom levels and such.
Brightness, 50%.
You have different brightness for such.
Contrast, 50%.
Contrast.
Filters, no filter.
Even filters. So you just say you are a frequent user of changing all those options. Guess what? You just head over to settings. And you're going to have the list of activities right here. So by default, this is the default one. If you go to the right,
save new activity.
You can save activities. So you have different presets. You go back into settings every time you open the magnifier, go to settings, and you'll have all the activities that you set for those particular options of zooming, filters, brightness, contrast, and such. This will make your life so much easier. Now, this feature is going to have big implication when it gets going. It's called the private access token for CAPTCHA. Yes. Think of this. Let's just be able to bypass CAPTCHA. Would that not be huge for those that are blind or low vision that have lots of problem with CAPTCHA? Well, this is the settings now, and it's found under your settings, under your profile, under password and security, which is a new option called
automatic verification. Switch button on.
It's
double tap to toggle setting.
Automation verification.
Bypass captchas in apps and on the web by allowing iCloud to automatically and privately verify your device and account.
Which will use your biometric. So when you come across, it will use your biometric. So it'll use your Touch ID or your Face ID to bypass the CAPTCHA. Now, before you get too excited on this is very, very, very early stage. Lots of webs and apps has to take advantage of the API that Apple is giving those developers to use. But nonetheless, this is a big implication of bypassing CAPTCHA. For VoiceOver users, you will notice a new tone when a screen recognition item is focused. This is a new option you can turn on and off under settings and accessibility under VoiceOver, all the way down to audio, to sound and haptic.
Screen recognition item focused. Sound on. Double tap to toggle setting.
Which is default on. You can turn this option off or on.
Haptic on. Double tap to toggle set. Preview button.
And give you a preview. And this should make things easier for VoiceOver user with this new tone. We have some new Siri commands that were designed just for those with accessibility issues, such as you're now able to end calls. So, for example, end call.
There's nobody calling right now.
So if I was on a phone call and you just want to use a Siri, you just use that command to end the call. My other favorite is that you can restart the phone now using Siri. Restart my phone.
Just to confirm, you want to restart this device?
Yes. And then it restarts your device just like that. The other nice option is to be able to set your auto answer. So if you have some hand disability and you just want the phone to turn on by itself by using Siri, you can do so now. Turn on auto answer.
Okay, I turned auto answer calls on.
Now you have some new Siri commands to add to your list to use. There's also a Siri pause time for those with speech impairments. Now can tell Siri how long to wait before I respond to it. This can be found in setting accessibility down to Siri.
Siri pause time. Heading.
And then you get the option to change different options here.
Selected. Default. Longer. Longest.
And that should help you being able to communicate with Siri in a more efficient way. And lastly, those who use voice control now gives you the option for spelling mode. And that allows them to be able to dictate with custom spelling. Here is a really cool feature that I'm looking forward to, but I wish it was on all of our phones. Unfortunately, this feature is only on the new iPhone 14 Pro. You now get the option to have the power on and off sounds. Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. So every time you power up your phone, you get a nice little chime. And when you power off the phone, you get also a different chime. So you get the power on and off chimes to let you know when the device has been turned on and when the device has been shut down. This is an option you will find under Settings, Accessibility, to power on and off sound. Here's an example of what the startup sound sounds like. And that chime is an example that you know that your device is powered on. A really neat feature to see in upcoming future devices. And those are some of the new accessibility features you're going to find in iOS 16. There are more in there for you to find, but I thought I'd give you a summary of the most notable feature that might interest and pique you and able to dig and use for yourself. Now, without any worries, I will be doing a handful of how-to podcasts that's going to go much more deep and details how to find a particular feature and how to use them. So stay tuned for those. Check them out when they come out. My name is Thomas Domville, also known as Anonymous. Until next time, bye-bye.
This AppleVis podcast has been brought to you by the community of applevis.com. For the latest in resources and tips and tricks to get you the best experience from your Apple device, visit www.applevis.com.